My husband is currently packing his bags and also packing our kids' stuff because he is going to leave to another state, all because I cheated on him with a mutual friend. My husband and I have been together for a while. No, I don't think there was any issues in the relationship or marriage whatsoever. I actually thought our life was pretty perfect, but then I decided to talk to one of our mutual friends, and one thing led to another. I think I was just really tired of the fact that my husband was constantly working to make sure that we had a roof over our heads and to make sure that everything was paid. And so I just felt very lonely. So I decided that I was just going to message his friend, just like we are friends, nothing else. That was it. And then all of a sudden it just led to something else. I mean, at least I had the balls to actually tell my husband what was going on because I could have kept it from him. I could have just moved on without telling him shit. After I told him, I was very surprised about his reaction because he was not freaking out or panicking. He just said, okay, and then he said he was going to pack his shit and go, but he was also going to take the kids.
First off, well done to the man. This is exactly how you should respond to such behavior. You don't need to freak out. You don't need to go after the guy that she cheated on you with. You should actually just thank her for showing you who she really is.
All right. He didn't smack her. He didn't toss her around the room. There was no physical abuse. There was no emotional abuse. He wasn't broke. He wasn't living on the couch. He was what? The American boy. The guy that everybody dreams of having. He's just super stand up, and this is what all little girls dream of when they see that pretty little dress and this, that, and the third. And it still wasn't enough. Initial thoughts. I'm gonna let Sydney start us off, man, since you are making your return too. We'll go Sydney, we'll go Rob, and then we'll go Coach.
Man, I had a lot of thoughts going through my head while she was doing this. When I first read the title, I thought it was going to be like the husband slept with his friend, and then she was blaming I was like, okay, I guess that makes sense. And then I heard I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this makes a lot more sense. But first of all, the gall of her to be like, oh yeah, I did this because one thing led to another. I was lonely because my husband was putting a roof over her head. I'm like, he's literally working for you, and you have zero appreciation for that. Like, the fact that you even phrased it like that and said it to excuse your behavior, like, oh, he wasn't giving me enough attention because he was doing what he was supposed to do as a responsible father and husband. I'm like, and then she also was surprised by his reaction, that he was just like, all right, cool. I see the way it is. I'm done taking the kids. I'm out. And it's funny to me because this is exactly the reaction my husband has said he would have if I ever cheated on him. Like, we've talked about this a lot because we see these stories. We used to watch these videos of people getting caught cheating. They're blowing up and whatever. And he literally said the exact same thing that this husband said to her, where he's like, look, if you cheat on me, I'm just like, all right, this didn't work out. This isn't for us. You clearly have other things that you want to do, and I'm done. Like, I'm not going to fight for you. I'm not going to fight him. I'm not going to do you. I'm gone. And exactly like the guy commenter said, like, that is the responsible thing to do. Like, you shouldn't be attacking the guy. You shouldn't be attacking her. He made a very responsible decision and took himself out of the situation. So I don't blame him at all. And I think she's completely deluded to think like this is this is a horrible reaction and I need sympathy for this. I'm like, girl, you made your bed, literally. Like, I just cannot believe this type of behavior and lack of, I don't know. It's like she's not cluing into the whole situation. She's just kind of not there yet.
You got it, Rob.
Was he in the Army? That's what I want to know. Was he in the Air Force? What's happening? You got a hell of a friend to be doing all that. You know what I'm saying? I believe in second chances. He's pretty smooth though. Yep, they're not 1 in 10, nothing up. They're not. You know, especially with your friends and all that. Maybe she wasn't for him in the beginning. Maybe he knew something.
Coach.
Yeah, hey, initial reactions it sound crazy, man. Let us know what else you got over there.
One thing I want to address real quick, because Rob wasn't here for it, so he don't know. But I was asking Coach earlier about the whole military situation, because the woman, she went on a date, a hinge date, and she met somebody that she thought was cool, but she told him that she was in the military, and he ghosted her. So, I was asking, what is it about? Well, it wasn't even about the military specific. To me, it was about that uniform that a person wears. Is like, all right, there's a stereotype on it, where it's like, damn, they known for sleeping around and this, that, and the third. And you said something about the Army, and it jogged my memory, because I was like, I just was talking about how a guy went off and his wife stepped out on him. So I'm like, damn, bro, was in my head. My initial thoughts on the video itself, though, he handled it the way everybody should handle it. You can't control another human being. If they don't want to honor your vows or the covenant between you and the other person, you can't stop that. Don't matter if it's the job or not. Like, if a person decides that this ain't for them, they're either going to be honest or they're going to conceal it. And I would rather you tell me the truth about where we stand versus sneak around and then I gotta catch it. So kudos to him for how he handled it. Kudos to her for at least telling him the truth. It's still trifling as hell though. I'm gonna stop there. I have a question. Is you have a decent job. You're in good health physically. You're not messy. You're not in the streets. You're not creating problems, and you got a nice structure. We talk about checks and balances and having structure all the time. You got everything that you're supposed to have to cultivate a healthy relationship. But you run into specific women like this who absolutely destroy it for whatever reason. Are we fooling ourselves to believe that structure is good enough? That having all of these things as a man is good enough? Are we just too far gone in 2026 to think, oh, that's a good thing? The way that she's acting, and this ain't the first story. This is like the 80,000th. Oh, he was boring. I don't like routine. We ain't spicing it up. Or you get this, oh, I think I don't want this anymore, because you go through like this little dry spell, and because you're not used to it, you need that dopamine hit, you need that excitement, And so you find it somewhere else. As soon as they give you that attention, now you think that they're the love of your life. And then you find out that's not what it is. Are we really just playing ourselves out here thinking routine and structure is enough? I'm gonna go ahead, you got it.
Yeah, you got to start giving us a break in between those 8 questions, man. Yeah, it ain't. I don't think it definitely is not enough, because you live in it. We keep talking about this recurring theme of the instant gratification and the entitlement. You know, people want nice houses, nice cars, the stuff that they see people have online, but nobody wants to do the work to generate the income, the responsibility and things that comes along with that. And that comes also the same things as far as relationships. Right now, it's cool. It just became cool all of a sudden for people to start getting married. You see everybody getting married, but you don't see anybody talking about what it takes to maintain those relationships. So obviously, that shit ain't happening. People ain't maintaining those relationships. We keep getting updates on how people are broken up, but you never hear about anybody going through the process, curating and how to make those things better. So that is part of structure, but that's not the part of structure that's not being implemented, in my opinion.
Said you got it.
I think there's a bunch of factors in play where I don't think it's just the problems with relationships, because there are external factors that are affecting people's relationships, where one, right now we're in some of the most economically stressed times that we've been in for a very long time. And like, I think it's the number 2 or 3 reason for divorce is financial reasons. People can't agree on it. People are stressed out. A lot of people who are in financial straits have to work excessive hours to be able to make ends meet. And that can kind of create a situation where you either grow apart, or you're fighting, or you're not really having that intimacy in the relationship that people kind of expect. So I think that's kind of a factor. It maybe could have been a factor in this, where she was saying like he's working and she's not getting enough attention and whatever. But I think also that instant gratification that you were mentioning, we live in a culture today where there's thousands of sites that you can go to, or hundreds of sites that you can go to meet people, whether it's in your area, out of state, whatever. Like, there's so many groups to meet people, to find people, that I think a lot of people have that in the back of their mind, where like, oh, I can just find somebody better. And so I think a lot of people settle in relationships. They're not really thinking it through when they get in these relationships. They don't have the commitment in mind, because they just think, oh, well, if it's not good enough, then I'll just divorce him and leave and find somebody else. And so in the past, people got into these relationships almost as a financial and lifetime, like, I am getting in this because it's going to be the thing that I need to further my life and whatnot. And like, it was more like culturally established as a partnership rather than just a thing that you do when you're old enough. So there's more people today that don't really take the commitment seriously at all. They don't really see it as the, like, we're going to be in it for the long haul, so I'm going to work at it as if we're in it for the long haul. I'm going to, because commitment isn't just you put a ring on their finger, you sign some contracts, and there, you're committed. Like, it takes mental work, it takes emotional work, it takes physical time. You have to sacrifice for each other. You have to give and take. Like, someone might have to work when the other person can't, or both people might need to work. You have to find ways to get along. And there's always going to be ups and downs. Like, no marriage is ever like fancy roses and beautiful doves and, you know, like the type of stuff that you see on a Hallmark movie. A lot of the time, these relationships involve a lot of stress, and you have to be willing, both sides of the relationship have to be willing to sit down, compromise, work together, find solutions that work. And a lot of people aren't willing to do that work. They just kind of expect, oh, it'll find a way. I don't have to worry about it. I'm going to push it aside. I'm going to ignore it. And a lot of people also just don't have conflict resolution skills. There's a lot of people that just immediately get mad or just block it out, or a lot of different tactics to avoid confrontation, because people just don't know how to have amicable disagreements. So I think the culture, the availability of relationships, the way that it's portrayed in the media, like there's so many different things that are making people almost devalue the purpose of commitment and the process of commitment. So I think that's a huge factor. I also wanted to touch on something you said earlier about the military, where fortunately a lot of those stereotypes are true. Not the case across the board. Like there are definitely relationships that are committed. People are overseas for months at a time, but they are like, they work on the relationship. They're good for each other. But the rumors are definitely true. There are a lot of people out there that are like, oh, I'm overseas, it's my free pass. My husband hears about that all the time. He's even been encouraged by his own.
Hey, let's be careful. You're speaking in too much of generalities about military people. So
I'm not saying it's
careful.
the same across the board, but he has encountered this a lot in his job. Our neighbor, that happened to them. He was overseas for 6 months, and he ended up sleeping with somebody that he was on the ship with a lot of the time. Especially because it's close quarters, it can be very easy to engage in relationships like that. So there is definitely truth to that stereotype, but again, it's not the same across the board. Like I know a lot of people that have solid relationships. They've been together 15, 20 years, and they have a very good relationship because they have trust in each other. They maintain the relationship even when the person's overseas. They make efforts to do phone calls and letters and all sorts of stuff. But unfortunately, there is definitely that side of it where if you're overseas for a long period of time, some people are like, I can't do it. That even happened to his uncle. He ended up being stuck in the Iran crisis, and he ended up being overseas for 2 years. And his wife left him because she basically was like, well, I didn't even think you were alive. So there's a lot of different cases, but that is a thing in the military. But again, that's not always the case. Like my husband's been overseas multiple times for months at a time, and he's never done anything because we have that commitment. So I think it doesn't matter the situation. It matters the mindset of both of the individuals, whether they're in it for each other, they're in it to commit to each other and to make the decisions that are best for the relationship. That's what matters more than the situation, because people cheat for far less, as we saw here. So I think it is way more dependent on the mindset of who's in the relationship than the situation that those people are in.
Got my little notes. Attention spans are shorter. That's a fact, especially with the advent of social media. A lot of times you're most dangerous when you think you're right. And I know for a fact that projecting can be real dangerous when you start blaming others for things that you feel is going wrong in your relationship. But I learned the hard way. The last thing you do is sleep with somebody. The second last thing you do is cheat with somebody they know. You want to burn your house down? That's the two fastest ways to get it out of there. You can end everything right then and there because you already done betrayed the person, because no matter what they was doing and he was working at that, giving your body to somebody else, that's violation. But then somebody I know, you don't know how long it was going on. You don't know, was they talking? Was they partying together? Did they work? You know what I'm saying? Like all of that, when that come in, that could be damaging. Then Sydney is absolutely right. I learned when you married, there's no days off. There's a constant relationship, and no matter what you're trying to do, you still gotta have your dreams. You still gotta do some of the things that you did before you got married, but you gotta balance all that for your significant other. You know what I'm saying? If they need attention and that's the one you choose and they want you, then you gotta give them that attention. You may not even be that type of person. You may not like watching TV. But if that's what that person like to do, you're gonna watch all the TV in the world. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the sacrifice gotta be, because that's what when you find somebody you really love, I guess that's your soulmate or whatever. I heard that it's really not necessarily you loving them, it's what you're willing to sacrifice for them. What kind of issues are you willing to deal with? What kind of adjustments are you willing to make? And y'all right, life happens over and over again. So you want to make the adjustments so you're still growing on the same page. And then I'm thinking for relationships, a lot of the people, we had two kinds of older folk. You had the old folk that just stayed together and didn't tell their business, because you know a lot of them were secretive, and it'd be a lot